Welcome to the official podcast of Vienna Shadows, a secret society uncovering Vienna's hidden mysteries. Lean back and enjoy the show.
I want you to close your eyes for a second. Imagine Vienna in the 1920s. Usually, we get this very specific, polished image, coffee houses, intellectual debates.
The waltzes, Freud, Klimt.
Yeah.
That whole golden age vibe.
Exactly. All very cultured. But I've been digging into this material for the Vienna Shadows role-playing game, and it paints a completely different picture.
It really flips the script, doesn't it? It takes that veneer and just peels it right back.
Yeah.
We're looking at Red Vienna, this era of huge socialist housing projects. But in this game, those buildings aren't just homes. They're fortresses against something much older than politics.
Exactly. We're talking ancient Alpine folklore crashing headfirst into modern political strife. And our mission for this deep dive is a little different. We know a lot of you are probably game masters or players getting ready for a campaign.
Right.
So we're not just going to talk about the lore, we're going to break down how to actually run this thing.
So, a dual focus today. First, we have to look at the mechanics, the roll-low system, the character sheet, because they really dictate the mood.
And then
we're diving deep into the Perchten myths and that whole faction war between the cults of the robes.
it's basically the third man meets the Witcher,
But set in a communal laundry room.
which is somehow even more terrifying. We'll get to the laundry room horrors later. Let's start with the platform. I was looking at the notes on the character sheet, and something stuck out. It's digital fine, but the values are session-based.
Yeah, changes aren't saved server-side.
That seems inconvenient. I mean, for a modern game, why wouldn't you save the data?
It feels counterintuitive, but think about the genre. This is survival horror.
Okay.
The fact that the data is ephemeral, that it might just vanish if you don't track it, it creates this sense of fragility. You're not building some epic hero over time. You're just trying to survive the night.
So it stops you from getting into that video game mindset of, I'll just grind until I'm stronger.
Precisely. And that fragility is baked right into the fail states, too. You have health, obviously, but you also have stand.
Your sanity.
Right. Your sanity or understanding. And the rules are clear. Hitting 0 in either one takes you out.
No difference. 0 health. You're dead. 0 sanity.
You're lost to madness. And for a GM, that's a fantastic tool. You don't always need a physical monster. A horrible realization or a forbidden symbol can hit just as hard as a claw.
Okay, let's talk about the dice, because this is where I got a bit skeptical. The core mechanic is a single D6.
Just one 6-sided die.
Most RPGs love their D20s, their D100s. A D6 feels small. Does it really offer enough variance?
Well, that smallness is the whole point. The system is roll low. You have an attribute. Let's say it starts at 3. You have to roll under that number to succeed.
Okay, wait, let's do the math on that. If my strength is 3, I need to roll a 1 or a 2 on a D6. That's a 66% chance of failure on a standard check.
Exactly. And that's a standard unmodified check. It's a shock to the system if you're used to playing a hero who succeeds most of the time. A coin flip chance at best tells you, don't roll unless you absolutely have to.
Find another way, because if you roll a 3 or higher,
You fail. And failure in this game almost always means you lose some health or sanity. It's a death spiral. Your strength drops to 2. Now you only succeed on a 1.
that is just brutal. It hammers home that you're just a normal person.
And there are ways to mitigate it, items and influences. But the core mechanic is designed to make you feel desperate.
Desperate feels like the key word. Which brings us to the setting. The game happens during the Raunächte.
The rough nights.
Right, I know that from German folklore.
Yeah, it's basically the 12 days of Christmas, December 24th to January 6th. In the old stories, this is when the wild hunt rides, and the veil between worlds is thinnest.
And the game takes this and just smashes it into 1920s Vienna.
Into the political reality of it. And this is where we get the factions, the cults of the robes.
This is the part I really want to unpack.
Yeah.
Because it's not just one evil cult. There are 3, and they all seem to represent different ideologies.
They do. And as a GM, you have to run them differently. You have to get their motivations. Let's start with the Black Robes.
Well, architects of chaos.
Right. They're not just generic villains. They're, the ultimate reactionaries. Their philosophy is that civilization, walls, laws, it's all a cage, a false order. They want to burn it all down.
And they use the sheaf Perchten to do it, the ugly Perchten.
Yes, Schiach is a great Austrian word. It just sounds nasty And these are the monsters you'd imagine. Shaggy fur, twisted horns, iron claws. They're primal, raw chaos.
Just the black robes are anarchy, the golden robes must be the opposite, the government.
They're the elite gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Think aristocrats, academics, the old money from the wealthy First District. But don't let the golden name fool you. They are arguably more terrifying.
Because they represent control.
Absolute control. They use the Perchten, the beautiful Perchten.
The beautiful ones.
Right, radiant, bright figures. In the old myths, they bring blessings. But the golden robes have twisted that. They use them to enforce the status quo, to hunt down their political enemies.
The source material says they specifically target social democrats, right? And they frame these supernatural attacks as just, like, regular crimes.
Exactly. It creates this brilliant, horrifying irony. The beautiful monsters are the agents of oppression, and the ugly ones are agents of a destructive, chaotic liberation.
Which leaves the players stuck right in the middle. But there's a third group, the Crimson Robes.
The archivists, they're different. They believe the entity at the heart of all this, the goddess Perchta, is a kind of living library. They just want to witness her arrival, record it, and understand.
So they're the neutral observers.
Mostly.
Mm-hmm.
But the key for players is a splinter group called the Crimson Cracked Branch.
The Cracked Branch.
Yeah. The main cult might be too detached, just taking notes while people die. The Cracked Branch seems to be the faction that might actually help you, that gives you the lore and tools to survive.
Okay, so we have the layout. Chaos in black, order in gold, and memory in crimson. Now let's tie this to the bestiary. I love how the game links character attributes directly to specific monster types.
Yeah, it's not just hit it with a stick.
Yeah.
Your stats dictate how you interact with the horror. Take strength. In most games, strength is for swinging a sword. Here, strength is for resisting the slit.
Slit. That's the Perchten again.
Yes. So imagine this scenario. The black robes led a beast into a tenement. You aren't rolling strength to wrestle it. You're rolling strength just to not get torn in half while you try to get away. It's defensive.
Got it. Then we have charisma. And this is for the Perchten.
The golden robes agents. The scenario hook is a masquerade ball. The Perchten are there, looking radiant, but they're hunting for lazy workers or dissidents.
So you roll charisma to, what, talk them down?
To blend in, to perform. You have to convince these supernatural beings that you belong there, that you're not the prey. Social interaction becomes a life or death stealth check.
That's great. It makes the face of the party vital. What about perception? This is tied to the Perchten.
The beaked Perchten. These are the Crimson Robes cleaners. They show up at supernatural crime scenes to scrub away the evidence, the blood, everything.
A creature with a giant beak coming out of the fog to wipe a murder scene clean? That is incredibly creepy.
It is. And you use perception to hear their whistle or to spot the beak in the mist before they decide you're part of the mess that needs cleaning.
And finally, intellect insanity. This connects to the Drud.
The Drud is a nightmare entity. It sits on your chest while you sleep. The black robes use it to drain your sanity. And the mechanic is fascinating. You use strength to physically throw it off, but the damage it deals is to your mind.
Wow, that perfectly captures that sleep paralysis feeling.
Exactly. And intellect is also for deciphering the Armanan runes, the golden runes used to bind the spirits. You need the brains to understand the magic.
Okay, we have the rules, the factions, the monsters. Let's see it in action. The source material has a full scenario. The Siege of Karl Marxhof.
And this is such a perfect location. Karl Marxhof is a real place, a massive kilometer-long socialist housing complex. It looks like a fortress. It was literally built to be defensible.
So set the scene for us. Rough nights. Giant concrete fortress. What's the inciting incident?
A breach of the spinning taboo.
Hold on. Spinning taboo? What is that?
It's deep folklore. During the 12 days of Christmas, you are not supposed to spin wool or flax. If you do, Frau Perchta gets angry.
And what does she do?
She comes to cut open your belly and stuff it with straw.
That is very specific.
And the black robes do it on purpose. They violate the taboo to summon the furious army, the wild hunt. They light a supernatural beacon saying, "Come and feast on this entire building."
What about the golden robes, the authorities?
They surround the building, but they don't go in. They just block the exits. They're letting the wild hunt cleanse the socialist housing for them. It's a containment zone.
So players are trapped, monsters being summoned inside, oppressors locking the doors outside. Walk us through the checks.
Okay, you're at the table. First, the GM calls for an intellect check. You find weird carvings on the building's turbines. They're the Armanan sigils the golden robes put there to trap everyone. You have to decipher them to even know what's happening.
Fail that, and you don't even realize you're in a cage.
Next up, a perception check. As you're running through the halls, you need to find the white laundry.
Laundry again. What is with the laundry?
It all ties back to the taboo. Leaving white laundry on the line during the rough nights is bad luck. The spirits use the sheets as shrouds. The black robes have planted these as omens to guide the monsters to specific apartments.
Oh, wow. So you're looking for targets painted on your neighbor's doors.
Exactly. You pass the check, you find the laundry and take it down, you blind the monsters, you fail, the hunt knows exactly where to go.
And then the monsters get in.
The strength check. That's the word for a group of Perchten, smashes through the barricades. You have to physically hold the line while someone else performs a Roikern ritual burning incense to drive the spirits back.
It sounds so tense. And it all builds to a final choice on the roof.
The rooftop climax.
Yeah.
You survive the night. You confront the entity Perchta herself. And you can't fight her. She's a goddess. You can only direct her.
What are the options?
Option A. You hand her over to the Crimson Robes. They capture and study her. You get knowledge, favors, maybe magic. But you've just handed a goddess over to be a lab rat.
And option B?
Banishment. You complete a ritual to send her back where she came from. It's the path of safety. You save everyone in the building, but you gain nothing. In fact, you make enemies of all three factions.
So being the good guy puts a target on your back from everyone.
That's the whole philosophy of the game. You can't win. You just have to decide what kind of consequences you're willing to live with.
That really brings it all home. This is not a power fantasy. It's a survival game about ideology.
That's the biggest takeaway. Yes, we're rolling dice to fight monsters, but the monsters are metaphors. The Shiak Perchten are the terror of anarchy. The Shon Perchten are the terror of authoritarian control.
And the players are just people caught between these extremes.
It leaves you with a really provocative question to think about. In a game where the beautiful monsters enforce a cruel order, and the ugly monsters offer a destructive freedom, are the monsters really the bad guys?
Or is the real horror the human ideologies wielding them?
I think we know the answer to that.
A cheerful thought to leave you on. Make sure to check your sanity scores, everyone. Seriously, don't leave your laundry out during the rough nights.
And keep your dice ready. You are definitely going to need them.
This concludes today's episode. Don't forget to rate and subscribe. Until next time, Vienna Shadows, signing off.